You see how smooth it is? Look.
Yeah, no, you're very nice. You're very normal.
No, nobody's ever said that about me. So I know you're lying. Is this our Christmas episode?
I've decided to celebrate past Halloween, so it's not necessarily Christmas, but it's definitely past Halloween. So
It makes sense to me.
I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm saying, that's kind of how some of us arrange things.
Darby O'Gill, you want to do that one?
Let's do Darby O'Gill.
Because I've been waiting.
I love this film. Now, what are we talking about?
Oh, Darby O'Gill. A wily old codger matches wits with a king of leprechauns and helps play matchmaker for his daughter. And the strapping lad.
Yes.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery as the strapping lad.
Yes.
Oh,
no.
My God.
Oh, did you know that I was digging through the trivia and I saw that if it wasn't for this movie, Sean Connery would never have been James Bond.
I know. It's really weird. It's like you have to think to yourself that maybe somebody looked at it and went, "That guy is so terrible at whatever that was." Maybe he'd be good at James Bond.
Well, I mean, the fact he was singing, that was amazing.
Yeah. It wasn't him, by the way.
This is Mary Poppins with Sean Connery lip syncing.
Yeah, Sean. Yeah, it was. It was, and it. You know what? It took me a while to find out that he wasn't singing.
It actually looked real. I mean, I was surprised by it too.
Not only did it look real, but even in the credits, they credited him with singing. But I could tell it wasn't his voice. I mean, it wasn't even near his voice. So I kept checking around, and they said, rumor has it that neither one of them sang their parts. So
Albert Sharp, he was amazing. The guy that played the old man.
Oh yeah, God, yeah. Here's the thing. And I remembered this about this film, and I remembered thinking even at the time, and I was like 0 years old, right? And I remember thinking
1959,
just being blown away by this film, just just amazed at it, right? I was 3.5, and the thing that I thought was amazing is I have not really seen it since then. I've seen a couple of little tiny clips, but to go back and see it and realize that how well done it was. I mean, holy crap. I mean, the little people thing, they did it hands down some of the best foreground work I've ever seen in my life.
Well, so am I wrong? But most of the scenes were shot with just somebody closer to the camera, right?
Right. Somebody's closer to the camera and somebody's further away, but the distance is a difficult thing to understand. Let me give you just one of the problems in doing that, because I have done that sort of thing before. And one of the problems is that you need an incredible amount of light in order to do that, because you're trying to pick a focal length on the film. You're trying to pick a focal length on the film in the focus of it that's right in between the two, so that you can hold the two of them into a convincing focus, right? Because as soon as you got them into the same focus, then you're going to feel like they're both in the same place. So you're not necessarily going for a sharp focus, but you're going for the same focus. In order to do that, you really have to blast enough light so that your camera lens is stopped down, so that you're looking through a little tiny section of the lens. And that way there isn't as much of a difference in distortion between the two. And it also your focus is longer and longer and longer, the more light that's on it, right? So
yeah. The only time I noticed it was the only time it was rough was when that scene where he was walking into and they were all dancing and he was playing fiddle.
Right.
They were really dark and kind of hard to see.
Exactly, and you had to think to yourself that was incredibly bright. That the lighting that they had on that was incredibly bright, but they were trying to shut the cameras down as far as possible and use the fastest possible film on it. And it still looked great. I mean,
no, it was awesome. I mean, I thought the scenes where they showed him talking to him and where he was in the sack and stuff, it was just
right.
like,
I mean,
for 1959, Disney did a really good job.
See, we did this on Hercules in New Zealand, and we had entire sections with a couple of, quote unquote giants, and learning how to do them in camera, and making miniatures of buildings so that you would look up and have him lift the top of a building and look inside, right? And the other thing that we learned is that in order to make the large people look, in order to make the giants look bigger by proportion, we also slowed the frame rates down. Like we would shoot the giant at 20 frames a second instead of 24 frames a second, so that he got that ponderous, feeling. And they didn't really do that much of that in this, because you're primarily looking from the point of view of the big people looking down. But occasionally they did speed the film up for the people that were small.
Right. Like when they're dancing?
The dancing sequence is an excellent example of it. Yeah.
Right. Especially when it got really fast.
Yeah, it got really fast.
No, I mean the plot is really simple of this movie, but I really enjoyed it because it was there was more to it than just the tricks of little and big. There was actually a pretty good story.
Right. Well, and in the end, I have to say that Sean Connery did a pretty good job. But the girl,
this look on his face every time he talked.
But the girl did a great job.
Right, yeah.
I mean, doing the flirtatious
Janet Munro.
Janet Munro did such a good job. It kind of reminded me like she took a lot of her cues off of the Quiet Man,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, oh, well, mister.
Right,
well,
a little over the top.
But then, but it was over
and
the
flirtatious.
Top, but she had a smile that get her out of all kinds of trouble, right? That smile was really, really great.
I'm just grateful that Disney Plus exists, because I would never have seen this. And if you wouldn't have said anything, I probably would have never even known it existed.
Hey, listen, think of how few of those 60s films you would ever want, would ever be interesting.
Especially Disney.
Right, especially Disney. Of Disney's 60s films, they were terrible. But this one is surprisingly good. It really is.
So this is what you had before Mary Poppins.
This is the anti-Mary Poppins.
Well, it was singing and dancing.
Well, yeah.
Well, I gotta say, like Jimmy, what is his name? Jimmy O'Day.
Yeah.
King Brian.
Yeah,
the guy that played that guy was perfect. Like,
yeah, exactly. But the other thing though is for early abstract kind of horror, the Wraiths, the Banshees.
Yeah. The Banshees. Yeah.
Banshees were great. Come on.
Wasn't that kind of a ghost? What was that movie with Don Knotts, the Ghost and
Ghost and the Chicken?
It kind of reminded me of that kind of.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Dude, all you're missing was Don Knotts going.
I'm related to Don Knotts, by the way.
I believe it.
I actually am.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
Fifth cousin removed?
Oh, like yeah, like removed and thrown away.
No, so I thought this movie was. I think everybody should check this out if they like kind of fantasy, like, well, if they like cheesy Disney movies especially, but if they like any kind of like Hercules, like like big and small, or any camera tricks and stuff.
Oh yeah. You know, if
I don't know why I said Hercules like that, but
if you think to yourself that Aladdin, Aladdin or the what's the 40 Tales? I can't think. Sinbad, all
the
those,
40 Thieves,
the 40 Thieves, and all the rest of that. If you've looked at that and thought that those were technically good, then you ought to take a look at this one, because this one is hands down one of the finest. I mean, but not only technically, it just had a fun little story to it,
Oh, watch Gulliver's Travels with Ted Danson.
There's another one, yeah.
And then watch Darby O'Gill, Night and Day.
There you go. Yeah, yeah.
The Ted Danson one was like, I mean, it was terrible because it was like modern day technology, and they were trying to, it looked bad.
Well, the thing is there was always that fear with the modern technology thing that you would do things as bad as they did in the 1984 version of Dune, and they didn't. And this was 20 years before that, right?
Yeah. No, 1959. I was actually kind of blown away by that and how clean it looked and everything.
Oh yeah, and just it was a good. And by the way, Disney at that time was an effects house. Think Forbidden Planet.
Oh yeah.
You know who did it? Disney did all the effects on Forbidden Planet, right? So you think to that and you go, okay, well, I can.
When was the Black Hole filmed? That was a movie I liked. That was probably 80s, probably.
This is 80s. That was up into the 80s,
yeah. Well, I like The Cat from Outer Space. I know that was in the 70s. So, special effects on that were amazing.
Amazing. It actually looked like that cat was getting spaced.
Not really, but no, but that's still. I'm gonna have to watch that movie because that's on Disney Plus. I'm not even getting paid to plug Disney Plus right now,
and you shouldn't be.
No, I don't want to be. I don't want to be there, bitch. I mean, what else do you have to say about this? You were a production designer. I mean, the sets were pretty simple.
I love the look. You know what amazed me was it was done mostly on stages in Southern California, and there were scenes where you did get outside, and you're supposed to be, hey, we're going down the road to the chimichanga. We're gonna go down the road and we're gonna get us a chimichanga. And you're looking at the. I'm looking.
Is that an Irish word?
That was right. That was Irish Spanish. So that's.
Going through the heather.
Hey. So the thing is you were going down the road, and just from my point of view, I'm looking and there were a couple of scenes where if you looked, the grass was green, only like right around where they were.
Yep. Yeah.
Because they had obviously painted the grass, So the grass is always the old saying, the grass,
right, yeah.
The grass is always greener
on the other side
around the airless sprayer, right? that old chestnut,
right? Oh man!
Oh me!
Santa's scary today.
Santa bit off my leg. Anyway. So, like I was saying, I was so happy to go back and see this film, and see that it was every bit as good as I thought it was, and I definitely given this a 4.
Well,
I would actually sing my rating if I could, but I don't think of any rhymes right now.
So. I think I'm right with you with a 4.
I I can't think about this film anymore, so I'm gonna go ahead and rate it 4.
So I'm gonna rate it 4 and get the hell out of here.
By the way, that was an excellent scene too, where he was getting the leprechaun drunk, and they were doing like rhymes.
Oh man, that was that was really great. That was and did I not think to myself that the first time he drinks like an entire keg, which was, you know, like the half of a cup, right? The entire keg, and I thought, he's just gonna fall right over, and you know, it's then like 5 kegs, 6 kegs later, you know, and you're going,
Well, he was a
oh,
leprechaun.
he's from Tennessee.
He's an Irish leprechaun from Tennessee. They can drink.
Exactly.
And you know what, kiddies out there? Just something to stick in your little head there. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all.
Speaking of horror,
It's a small world
if you want to be
after all,
terrified,
and
go
your
on the Small World
mother's
ride
a
as an
whore.
adult.
What?
I said if you want to be terrified as an adult, right? It's a small world.
It's a small world.
It's terrifying.
Okay, enough of this crap.
Right.